The year is 1976. One of New York City's most powerful and feared gangsters, Carlo Gambino, passes away. He names a successor, his cousin and brother-in-law, Paul Castellano. A young, ambitious Gambino associate named Roy Demeo was hoping to get Castellano's attention and have the books opened up on him. But Castellano was what some would call a white-collar gangster who looked down on some of the street guys. Though when he needed people to go away, there was no one better at murder than Roy Demeo. This is his story. How you doing, guys? Welcome to another episode of The Sitdown. I'm your host, Mike Recine. With me is my buddy, Matt Anderson.
Hey, Mike. What's up?
And my autistic brother, Mr. Frank Terranova. Thanks for... How you doing, Frank?
I'm all right.
We're getting started a little late because Frank texted me and he was like, do you have any food at your house? And I'm like, yeah, you're 50 years old. I guess, sure, I'll feed you.
It was very good.
Thank you.
It smelled great. It smelled
Thanks. Oh, yeah, Matt's on some diet where he can't eat
pastas.
You can't eat pasta.
Sauces. Do you
Sounds
make
like
that with sugar, or is that...
What, my sauce?
Yeah.
There's a little sugar in it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll give away my sauce recipe. I mean, I'll tell you guys what's in it. You want to know?
Yeah, you don't have to give away the keys to the castle, but...
It's just garlic, carrots, San Marzano tomatoes, olive oil, basil, salt, and sugar. That's it. Anyway, folks, we got an exciting episode for you today. How's your week going, though? All right? Anything new?
Yeah, you know, doing comedy. Got a couple of shows I'm producing now in Brooklyn. I'm excited about those.
This is cool. Well, we're profiling somebody this week. It's a guy, Frank. Frank picked him, Roy Demeo, Gambino family associate. Never really reached that high of a ranking in the Gambino family, right?
He was a big guy in the 70s and 80s. He was a big earner for the Gambinos. I mean,
yeah,
he made a lot of money for them, and probably more than any other person. And they just kind of didn't. You know, he's one of those guys who did so much dirty work for them, but then they kind of looked down on him for it. You know what I mean? Did a lot of dirty work.
Yeah, that was the interesting thing. Because it also seems like, you know, in the mob, you're either a really good earner or you're like a tough guy. Like, if you can't do math, you have to kill people. And DeMeo was a guy who could, like, he could do both. You
know, there was a couple of mistakes made. You know, he lost his temper, and you know, his crew was just so. His crew, which the journalists have called Murder Machine, they were so ruthless that John Gotti was afraid of them. Mm-hmm. I remember one time the Gotti was
John Gotti's your hero.
I love John Gotti. Yeah. But they were like, somebody said to Gotti, why don't we use those guys in Brooklyn? And he was like, what are you, fucking nuts? They're fucking crazy.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't need any money. He goes, I don't want to go anywhere near those fucking guys.
Yeah.
There was a funny story. It was like this guy, Dominic, who was Nino Gaggi's nephew, who told the whole story. He ratted. He told the whole story.
Yeah.
He would go to pick up money from Roy for his uncle.
Dominic what?
Dominic Montilio.
Montilio, yeah.
And he would go pick up money for his uncle. And one time he went in there and they were eating and they were having a good time, and there was a body hanging in the shower with a fucking screwdriver in the back of his head because they were draining his body. And Dominic said, who's that? And Roy said, don't worry, he's not staying for dinner.
Nice.
Jesus Christ. Oh, man.
That's great. Yeah, these guys were good at murder. They had their whole method of, like, dismembering a body and just, like,
They just put in a pool top.
The Gemini method, right?
Yeah, I think what would they would shoot you and then they would stab you in the heart so that the blood would stop.
Yeah, and then they would put a screwdriver in the back of your head to drain all the blood out.
Yeah, don't forget, as soon as they shoot you, they would put a tourniquet around your head with like a towel to stem the flow of blood.
They said one time,
my grandmother said everyone has something they're good at. You know?
So Dominic said to Anthony Senta, like, how do you just do this? Like, how do you chop up bodies of human beings?
Yeah.
And Anthony's like, it's like cutting up a deer.
Yeah.
And, you know, Joey Testa, who was like the ringleader, he was a butcher as a boy. Mm-hmm. So he brought his butcher equipment to work.
What did Roy do? Like, how you said he was one of the best earners? Like, what was his racket?
Loan sharking.
He started off loan sharking. He was just involved in everything. He was like, and one of his biggest customers was this guy who ran this bar. And then the guy couldn't pay him, so Roy took over the bar and called it the Gemini Lounge.
Well, the funny thing about Roy is he was like a fat kid, right?
Yeah.
So he was bullied a lot in school, but his older brother Anthony would like stick up for him.
And then
were you a fat kid?
No,
I
was never fat.
Okay,
I was a skinny kid. I was small. I was like 5'4", 85 pounds until I was like 16.
Yeah.
You got any siblings?
I have a sister, younger.
I was a fat kid, and like
Oh,
the
yeah?
thing about being a fat kid is like you get in a fight with somebody, and you know like I was like kind of funny, and I was sort of, but like they could just go right to be like, well, you're fat.
I was the
so-
guy that everybody used to stick up for.
Yeah,
Like all the tough guys liked me because I was little, so they'd be like, leave him alone. Like
Mhm.
everybody was always told, leave him alone. Like, and that went with me throughout my whole childhood. People were always defending me.
yeah,
Not that I was a pity case or anything, but they just liked me.
Yeah.
And I had a big mouth, so I used to get into trouble a lot. And then I would start a fight, and then somebody would be like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you,"
Mhm.
and then somebody would, because everybody was always looking for a fight, and
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't that sometimes it's not even that they liked me so much. An excuse to have a fight. What, you fucking with him? All right, now you gotta fuck with me because I just want to have a fight.
Mhm.
So there was a
You
lot
were
of
nice, right? Because everybody liked you.
yeah, everybody liked me because I was funny, and I don't know, it's just.
It seemed like you kind of grew up in a different time too, because like when you're saying like people were looking for a fight, like that's like kind of different than us growing up in like the 90s.
Yeah, nobody really
You know?
fights. Well,
Like
I
it
don't
feels like
know.
it
I
would
got in
get
a
more
couple-
escalated
I
fast.
You never
feel-
got in a fight when you were a kid?
No.
I feel like people look at me sometimes in this because it's weird. It's like I really shouldn't be hanging out with millennials. I mean, I should be married, like in a house somewhere.
Mhm.
But I'm like I hang out with young people, so like I stand out, and then people think I'm confrontational and crazy. But I'm just a person from my era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just behaving normal,
Right,
You know, I think everybody else is weird. I think they're all soft.
Did you ever have any bullies?
Yeah, I had a couple, and then I would end up becoming friends with them. I had a couple bullies that ended up becoming my buddies.
Yeah.
But when I in middle school, the bullying was like racial. It was racial bullying. No,
It still is with you today, though.
Well,
it,
I
also is at
got
the
picked
open
up.
mic.
I got picked on by the black kids.
Uh huh.
And then the Italian kids would jump in and beat up the black kids for me.
Yeah.
When I was in 8th grade, they started a rumor that I like gay porn.
Uh huh.
That wasn't.
Oh, where did that come from, Matt?
That wasn't nice.
It just fell out of his bag.
yeah. I was like,
bunch of
oh,
DVDs.
just scooping all these papers back in.
I have a bit.
Why did they? Where did that rumor come from?
Yeah, I just think. Well, I never figured it out. I mean, I was just a kid, but I think somebody just thought it was funny.
You look like
Yeah.
you could be in it.
Definitely, I see
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
You look like
know?
one of those types that's in there.
I was a
You
good
and
little
Alex
church
Patak
boy.
could be in a gay porn easily,
Mm. Yeah.
Okay.
very easily.
Yeah. Well,
I watch gay porn once in a while. I got a bit about it.
Yeah,
Lot
that's a
of-
funny bit because what you said, like in the Brooklyn rooms, they don't like that you say.
In the Brooklyn rooms, they don't like when I say faggot. In the black rooms, they don't like
like
when
you
I
watch gay
say
porn.
that I like it.
Yeah.
I did that joke at an NYU show, and it worked all the way through. And then when I said faggot, I lost them completely. Then I went to a black show that night in right close to here, and I said I like gay porn, and they were like boo. And then I told the whole joke, and then when I said faggot, they started applauding.
Uh huh.
So it was like a completely different reaction.
Yeah, it's very comedy, huh? It's so subjective.
yeah.
No, but I mean, a black
What if you did the rest of your life gay, like the 6 more years you have?
I would
You ever
probably
think about that?
if I was gay, I'd be successful.
Yeah.
As you've said before,
So why don't you just give it a
if
shot?
you
Then?
took it in the seat?
I like women.
Yeah.
Not personally, just physically.
Yeah. Yeah.
They ruined my life, but I love them.
Right. Right.
What are you gonna do?
I think all of us here love women.
Yeah, it's not easy dealing
just
with
want
them.
to
They're very
embrace-
difficult hormonal creatures. They're very
Mhm.
volatile,
Emotional.
inconsistent.
Yeah.
But what's better than a vagina?
Nothing.
I can't think of anything.
Exactly.
So now Roy's brother used to stick up for him, but then in 1951, Anthony enlisted in the Marines. That's Roy's brother, and he was shipped out to Korea, and he was killed in Korea by the. Do you know where I heard the term "gook" comes from? To say American, it's me gook. So they would go, look at these gooks, because they're saying me gook.
Oh, it's interesting.
That's funny, right?
It's always interesting to learn where slurs evolve from.
Yeah.
I personally don't care.
Yeah.
I never use the word gook because I didn't grow up around Koreans. I just say chink, and that means all of them, all Asians.
I'm not sure if it's Korean or Vietnamese.
When we were
that was
growing
good.
up, it was just we called all Asian people Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
They could be Japanese, they could be Korean, they could be Vietnamese. We just
Right.
like Chinese
And
people.
it was just a better, simpler time, when people.
Jesus Christ.
One time I said to this Mexican kid that I worked in a restaurant with, I'm like, when I say Chinese, I mean Asians. He goes, yeah, that's what we say too.
Yeah. Right. Right. They act like it's just white people doing
Yeah,
the
white people.
racism.
Let me tell you something. Some of the biggest races are not white.
Yeah.
It's true.
What are they?
Black and Hispanic.
Yeah. So Anthony gets killed, and that affected Roy. He started to lash out at school. He started what? Did he start shaking kids down? Well, you probably
Yeah,
don't
he
know about
started
his childhood.
loaning money, getting charging a vig.
Well, that was interesting. He got a job at this grocery store called Banner Dairy. He was the store's delivery boy,
And that's how
was
he
like,
lost the weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was delivering more food than everybody else. He was like, I mean, that's the thing. The guy just had a competitive spirit,
He was-
you know? He
a lot
worked
of
harder than everybody.
A lot of Italians
And-
back then, like education was not stressed by the parents. So it's like,
It wasn't?
no, education was not stressed.
Wait a minute, your parents didn't make you read like Nietzsche or
Nah. I mean, they were like, get a fucking job.
Yeah.
Like from when you're a kid, like get a job.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's all about
A
the hustle.
lot of Italians,
But I guess
had-
that's the thing too. It's like you got to make money. I mean, because
Yeah.
that's even my family too. That's the priority. Just find a way to make money.
it's an immigrant's mentality. It's like,
Yeah.
well, forget school,
Yeah.
which they have a point because I went to school. I
Like,
got
all you do in school is just learn how to, you know.
I have a degree and I still owe the money for it, and it keeps the money keeps.
What's your degree in?
My degree is in sociology,
Okay.
and I haven't paid a dime towards it. It's like I can't afford to.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. They'll probably never see a dime from it unless I make it in comedy. But I mean,
Well, yeah.
oh boy, comedy.
Yeah, so he loses the weight delivering groceries on his bike, and he's making up to $100 a week as a delivery boy.
And this is in the 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how much was that?
A lot.
Yeah. That was probably more than most of the adults on the block.
I don't know what money was like in the 50s, but I'm telling you, if somebody gave me a $20 bill in 1978,
Yeah.
I was fucking comfortable for a minute.
Well, I got to tell you
Yeah.
what, I am a democratic socialist and everything. You know, I'm a Bernie bro, but there is something to be said about like work ethic and just.
He's so full of shit. He's not a Bernie bro. You see the way he looks around for the reaction after he says it?
If there is something to be said about like the hustle. I know we've talked about this before. We
Yeah.
talk about the same four things on this show:
So what?
rats,
Yeah,
hustling,
hate him.
pussy, and Frank looking at gay porn. That's like the entire
I
show.
like the foreplay because I'm a foreplay guy.
Mhm.
Right.
I'm a heterosexual male, but I like a lot of foreplay.
Yeah.
I like
And
the story.
in
Why do you watch
heteros-
lesbians then?
I like lesbians too.
Yeah.
Heterosexual porn has no foreplay.
But you must be a little bit gay if you're watching gay porn.
No, because I'm watching the most hairless guys.
Oh, okay. Oh, never mind.
I don't know. Some straight porn has like a full production story. You know,
Let me
like
tell you something. I don't like hair on anybody.
Yeah.
I dated a girl once. Her asshole had a side ponytail. I'm telling you something.
Oh yeah.
That shit was frightening.
so you'd rather fuck a hairless man than a hairy, unshaven woman.
I like watching real couples.
That's a good one.
I like older and younger. I like older woman, younger guy.
That's
I like
good.
older man, younger woman.
Yeah, I like stepdad porn.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite.
Stepdad porn.
Well, I'm an older guy and I date younger women, so that's my wheelhouse.
Uh-huh. So Demeo is making so much money that he starts loaning his cash out to other friends. He realized if you loaned your money, people could pay you back with interest. And he's like a senior in high school. He's driving a Cadillac,
Yeah.
but he's still working at Banner Dairy, which is interesting. You know,
Yeah.
You got to make money. So yeah, he gains a reputation in school as being like a business, not just a businessman, but a fighter as well. Did you ever have any like hustles when you were a kid, like side hustles or?
I used to sell the Canarsie Courier. They were 5 cents each. I sell them for a quarter.
Uh-huh.
And we used to go
So
to
you have to buy them?
yeah, we buy about 50 of them. Go
Could
to
you choose what you sold them for?
well, the people would give me a quarter and go keep
It was
the change.
7 cents.
No, people used to go. We used to sell them for a dime, but people used to give us a quarter and say keep the change. So they cost a nickel.
Oh, okay.
And like there would be a bunch of us, like 20 of us.
Yeah.
And what I would do is because nobody had the balls to do this, because you don't realize the L train was very dangerous in the 70s.
Uh-huh.
I used to take the L train to Wilson,
This is in
which was like
Canarsie?
Wilson was really bad.
Yeah.
And I would get the people before they got to the Canarsie. And by the time they got to Canarsie, everybody's like, get your curry. And everybody had a curry. And they're like, fucking Frank, you went all the way to fucking Wilson.
Oh, and they were scared to go?
They were scared to go that far.
Yeah.
And one time I went with
You
two of
went
my
by
friends.
yourself?
I went with two of my friends. We got off at Livonia. This is not even that far. We got off at Livonia.
How old were you?
11.
Okay.
And this black
I
guy.
just like to imagine little 11-year-old Frank just not taking any crap. From
I've seen some photos
from the black people.
I've seen some throwback photos.
You want to hear a funny
Of
story?
Little Frank?
Yeah.
We got to post it on our website. When we get a website, we got to post just baby photos of
Yeah,
Frank.
why not?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
fucking graffiti all over that L train. It's like a set from a
Yeah,
movie.
It's great.
Uh-huh.
So I get off at Livonia, and it's me and my two friends, Enzo and Anthony, and we're waiting for the train
So
to come.
you went out to Wilson. Where were they selling stuff?
They were with me. We got off together at Livonia Avenue.
Yeah.
And this black guy comes on the platform, He goes over to my friend Anthony. He goes, "Give me the papers and take your money out of your pocket and give it to me." And he goes to my friend Enzo, "Give me the papers, give me your money."
How old was he?
This guy's like in his 30s.
And he's shaking down kids?
Yeah. So then he looks at me.
Boy.
He goes,
no wonder you're racist.
So then he looks at me. He's like, "Can I have $1?" So I hand him $1. Meanwhile, I had a lot of money on me.
Yeah.
And he goes, "I'm not going to take your papers." He goes, "You're cool." He goes, "You know why you're cool? Because you look black." Because I was tan.
What the fuck?
And they were like, so my friend's like, this fucking nigga loved you. I'm like, I just wasn't, I was nice to him. They were crying. They were crying because all their money got taken. They went home to their mother crying.
My sister thought my dad was black for like 8 years of her life.
Your sister?
Because my dad's so dark.
Oh.
Is your dad still on Facebook? He's still doing that?
Yeah, here and there. That's right.
It doesn't have the same bite as it did a couple of weeks ago.
No, it's running out of steam for sure. I got to find the next thing. Show business, huh? Nothing lasts except for our friendship. Anyway, so he starts he at the age of 22 he quits his. Oh, this is what I want to ask you. Oh, because when I was in middle school, I sold sandwiches in the lunchroom. I would go to Wawa and buy sandwiches for everybody and sell them. I would take orders the day before and sell them at like a 50-cent markup.
Nice.
And then this kid, Matt Paul, there was like no mayonnaise on his sandwich, and he like forgot to pay me, or he refused to pay me, and I just never sold a sandwich again.
I used to be a playwright. And I used to direct the plays and be in the plays. But you know what I used to do before the show would start?
Was it like an avant-garde like performance thing, or like?
No, they were like versions of Mean Streets.
Just Frank comes out in like a Speedo and like nipple tassels.
No,
and
my
he's
plays
like,
were actually.
It's like a one-man show.
My plays were actually
He farts confetti out of his asshole. That's the big.
My plays were critically acclaimed, and they broke even and everything, which is unheard of and off Broadway.
Yeah.
But I would buy Intimates, like large chocolate chip cookies, wrap them, and say my grandmother made them. Sell them for $5. I used to buy a bottle of wine, a cheap bottle of wine for like $5 for a jug. Sell a glass of wine for $5. Then I used to buy a case of water and sell the waters for $2.50. And I used to make so much money. People like
$2.50
for a bottle of water.
This was when you were 11, right?
So
this is in the theater.
No,
Okay,
so Frank only wrote a play so he could sell sandwiches, so he could sell cookies.
I used to make I made so much money.
He's like,
it was so great.
He put like no thought into the play. He just wanted to sell glasses of wine.
That's so funny.
It was the people are like, "Are you the director and the writer?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, why are you out here selling cookies?
What was the play about? That's great. He's wearing a scarf. He's like hawking cookies.
I did a couple of plays. I did Welcome to Canarsie, which was about a couple of my friends that got murdered by the mob, and then I did one called Crossing Rockaway Parkway, which was about a black girl goes out with an Italian kid, and Donna Summer's daughter, who was a friend of mine at the time, played the black girl, and then we did a play about a heist, and we did a play.
You should have done a like one where you play the black girl.
Yeah, right.
So you wrote more than 3 plays?
9 plays.
9 plays?
Wow.
And they were all great.
Can you bring them? We'll read them on on an episode.
Yeah, I got to dig for them. They're in my my closet. Yeah, that'll be funny, right?
Yeah. Who's your favorite playwright?
David Mamet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mamet and Shanley.
I like Stephen Adly Gurgis.
Yeah.
I think Shanley's okay. He's more fantastical. He's a little like highly stylized. It's not authentic to Italian Americans. He's an Irish guy.
Yeah.
But I think
he wrote Moonstruck though, right?
He wrote Moonstruck. I mean, he's okay. I don't think he's as great as people say. But I really like David Mamet, and I like David Rabe. And I also like Stephen Adly Gurgis. He's great.
Yeah. So this guy's driving a Cadillac when he's a senior in high school. Now he right after he graduated, he starts dating Gladys Pritton, who came from a good family. Roy's family liked her. They thought she was going to be a positive influence, and then they got married in 1960. They had 3 kids. But then Roy kept his loan sharking business, and he kept working at Banner Dairy, which I thought is pretty cool. Guy never quit his day job till he was 22, till he finally got enough money to.
And you know what's interesting?
Which is like a big deal.
One of the most interesting things about Roy that I learned from all this is like the way his son talks about him. He's like, my father never raised his voice.
Yeah.
My father never hit us.
Yeah.
He just sounds like the greatest dad.
Yeah, what is that? I guess they're able to like compartmentalize that stuff.
Yeah.
Or
I read his son wrote a book,
and
it was because I read Murder Machine many times. I read it 3 times, and I read it many years ago.
Wow.
But I read Roy's son's book recently, And it's such a Valentine to his dad. He's like, my father was a great guy. He used to wait for his father to come home every night because he knew what his father did. And when the car pulled into the driveway, he could go to sleep. Could you imagine the anxiety this kid grew up with?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Who wrote the first book? Murder Machine came out in like
Gene
97
Mustaine and Jerry
or 93?
Capisci, the journalist from the Daily News.
Oh, okay.
It came out in the late 80s, right after the court case.
Okay.
I think all those guys went away in 89, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
They were only they were like 24 years old when they went away. Anthony Center and Joey Testa, they were like 20. You know what? They got caught doing coke in the bathroom of the courthouse. They were in the courthouse waiting to be sentenced for life.
Who, Testa and
Testa and they were doing coke in the bathroom and they got caught. Imagine that.
I guess you're going away.
And then they said to him, okay, Anthony, you ready for your sentence? You're getting multiple life sentences plus 100 years, plus you're being fined for $3,000. So he said to the judge, I'll write you a check. But you know what I don't understand? He's getting out in 2032. Like, that's his release date. So, like, I guess if you live long enough, you finally get out.
Yeah. A lot of guys are coming out around now, right? Because they all went away in the 90s.
Yeah, but you know what's weird? It's like he went away 25.
Yeah.
He's going to get out at 70. So he's spending the best, most of his life in there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they show pictures. They show pictures of him.
What did they convict him for?
I mean, multiple murder and racketeering.
Yeah.
I mean, killing 200 people.
Yeah. What was it closer
I
to? 70? It was like 70 to 200 people or something like that?
Yeah. They were sociopaths, but I mean, when I used to see them in Canards, I used to see Joey and Anthony. I knew their brothers, Patty. And I knew Patty Testa and Michael Testa. Michael Testa fucking threatened me. I think I told that story on here before. But
wait, was he the guy that was like you saw him eating?
No, I was sitting on his car.
Oh, okay.
And he took his gun out and he told me to take my hands out of my pockets. And then I'm like, my friends all left when he walked over, and I stood there.
Yeah.
And they left me. And then when I went home, I'm like, where the fuck were you? They're like, I'm not fucking staying here with that guy. He's a fucking nut job.
Wow.
But he got shot. He got shot.
Italians really are like animals, huh?
Yeah, they are.
He got shot in the face like a couple of months later, and I was like, thank God. There was always like situations where like people would get killed, and I would be like, thank God I don't have to see that guy again. Because they were such fucking nuts.
Yeah.
You never know.
Not every time though.
What?
Yeah, you had some friends.
I had some friends that I liked, but there was a couple of guys that when they got killed, I just was like, woof. Thank God.
Not writing a play about those guys.
So at the age of 22, Roy moves his family from Brooklyn out to Massapequa Park in the suburbs. And you know who one of his neighbors was out there?
Who?
Carlo Gambino.
Oh.
Yeah, so...
he was hardly ever out there. He was always on Ocean Parkway.
Oh, was he?
With
he
his
had an apartment
bitch?
over there?
His wife was out in Long Island.
Right? His mistress was in Manhattan.
Carlo Gambino, we have to talk about him one episode, but he was like such a great guy. He was just like so modest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody respected him.
Just a sweetheart, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He killed a lot of people, but so did everybody.
Yeah. That's just kind of what you did back
When
then.
they break the rules, they got to go.
And even if they don't,
But
they
sometimes
gotta go.
it's not even a thing of like breaking the rules. Sometimes it feels like stuff gets so fucked up and just...
Well, that's the way things got in the 80s with all the RICO and the ratting and the cocaine. But I mean, in Carlo's day, it was more like, it wasn't as bad.
Yeah.
You know?
It was respectable.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But somebody who like goes into a small business and like shakes somebody down. I mean, I don't think there's nothing respectable about that.
Yeah.
well,
That's what the Russians are doing.
Well, didn't they provide this actual? I mean, like I know that you always say like we're providing the service of protection, so you're going to give us money
from what?
Well, didn't that actually mean something at a certain point? Like, of course, you're like alluding like, oh, protection
really.
from myself.
Yeah.
But like, didn't that also
Then it
like
should be optional.
you got to buy
It's
into
an
it like
extortion.
insurance?
I mean,
everybody
you know
had
the
to pay,
cliche,
like, a tax.
the cliche where the guy walks into the store, smacks the guy around, and goes, "Now you pay me." That's movie fucking bullshit.
Oh, really?
A lot of people just willingly was like wanted to have them as a friend because it was beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had them as friends. I mean, I didn't do anything for them, but I mean,
Right.
I always had somebody I could go to up until till Giuliani.
You should
arrested
start
him.
doing that at the open mic. Just be like, hey, give me $10 a week. I'll be your friend.
Yeah, you'd have to shake him down like a movie, though.
Yeah.
It's like slap around.
No, but Anthony Senta was what I call a real tough guy. I'll tell you a story. They hung out at the Gemini
All right,
Lounge.
Anthony Senta was a member of
He was a
Demeo's
member.
crew that he was.
They
Yeah.
called him and Joey. They called them the Gemini twins because they were always together. And he was a good-looking guy. Like all the women loved him, and every guy looked up to him. And he was a fucking scary guy, but he was a nice guy.
Who's a gay porn star that he looks like?
He could have been a gay porn star.
Yeah.
So
Is he hairless?
yeah.
Wow.
He was built. He was fucking jacked. So there's a story about this guy that I know who ended up getting killed like many years later. Was like a young up and comer. And a lot of like wannabes would go to the Gemini Lounge just to hang out.
Yeah.
So he's at the Gemini Lounge. This guy Anthony, and he picks up drinks, and I think one of them was like a Bloody Mary. And Anthony sent his dressed in an all white outfit, white shirt, white slacks, white all the way. He fucking trips, and the drinks go all over Anthony, and all the fucking red fucking
On purpose
Bloody
or by
Mary. No,
accident?
by accident.
Yeah.
Go all over Anthony. The place you could have heard a pin drop in there because they were like, "That's it. This kid's gonna fucking die. He's gonna fucking be dead." You know what Anthony Center did?
Wait, Anthony spilled it on
No.
Joe?
He spilled it on Anthony Center. This fat kid Anthony. He spilled it on Anthony Center.
Oh, okay.
They were both named Anthony.
Oh, okay.
So everybody got fucking hush quiet. The music stopped. And you know what Anthony did? He laughed and he bought all of them around the drinks. Because
Wow.
that's what a real tough guy does. A real
Right.
tough guy doesn't have to act like that.
Right.
He was like, he liked the kid. He knows that he was like, at the time, he was probably just a messenger boy.
Yeah.
But that was it.
Yeah.
And everybody told that whenever people would tell me this story, they were like, that's because Anthony's a real fucking tough guy. A fake tough guy would have made a fucking thing about that. A fucking faggot.
Like a Joe Pesci would have fucking smashed his hands.
Well,
and
that character that Joe Pesci played in Goodfellas was a fucking screwball who nobody liked. But
Right.
he was a fucking asshole.
Tommy DeSimone?
Yeah, he was a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
But Anthony Senta, like fucking just, I thought
That's a funny thing because like I just start researching these guys. Like some of them are like they seem to be like legitimate tough guys, and then some like have a chip on their shoulder and they got something to prove.
there's some they call those guys cowboys.
Really?
Yeah, that's like a nickname for somebody who's out of control.
Yeah.
Like Joey Pants in The Sopranos was
But there's
the
no
classic.
need for that.
Like Joey Pants in The Sopranos.
Who's Joey Pants?
Joey Pantoliano.
Pantoliano? Yeah.
When he played Ralphie Cifarella in The Sopranos, that
Yeah.
character was typical of like somebody who's out of control. But he, like, it got a little that year that he was on the show. I felt like The Sopranos jumped the shark because I don't think in real life they would put up with a guy that long. I mean, he was on the show a whole year.
Yeah.
I think he would have been gone long before. And Janice
think?
killed him.
Yeah.
Nobody-
No, that was Richie April.
Oh yeah. I'm
Sorry,
getting confused
you're
now.
not gonna.
But she dated both of
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it was also like an accidental thing.
It's funny that
the way he
Janet
died.
dated both of them because that's another thing that the sister of a real guy dates the piece of shit to like get her brother's attention. Yeah, my brother's a real tough guy, so I'm gonna date like somebody he hates. It's almost like a father thing, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
If you notice in all the gangster stories, the sisters treat the brother who's a tough guy like the father. Like Al Pacino was like Talia Shire's father
Mm-hmm.
in The Godfather, and I think like Tony was like fucking Janice's father
Mm-hmm.
because they were rebelling against him,
Yeah.
dating pieces of shit like Ralphie Cifarella and Richie Aprile.
What season is that? I'm only on episode 2.
I don't know.
2 and 3.
Oh, okay.
Well, 2 she dates Richie April, and 3 she dates Ralph Cifaretto. She puts a dildo up his butt.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah.
It's HBO,
That's
baby.
pretty funny. That's pretty funny when Tony starts fucking Ralphie's girl, and she's like, "He's some kind of freak. He makes me step on his balls, but he doesn't fuck me."
I like when
The
Janice
best show.
when Janice
R.I.P. Frank Vincent.
when Janice is cutting Ralphie's toenails and when the toenail hits her in the head, he's like, "What'd I get you with some scrapple?"
Scrapple?
Yeah,
Shrapnel?
shrapple. Yeah,
What a fucking moron.
fuck you.
Scrapnel.
Scrapple.
I got some scrapnel in my
Hey,
leg.
listen,
Scrapple's a breakfast meat.
I knew what I was saying.
I know.
So yeah,
Teasing.
Demeo gets the attention of Gambino soldier Nino Ganji, who you named your dog after.
Yes,
right?
I named my dog Nino Gadji.
This guy had such a Nino Gaji. This guy had such a positive influence on Frank's life.
I had a dog. He lived
That,
he lived 14 years.
Oh man, how did it die?
Natural causes.
Oh, good.
And it wasn't just Nino; it was Nino Gaji. Yeah, that's
Nino
what he
Gaji.
wants you to think.
Sometimes we called him
dog
Nino.
disrespected
We
him.
called him the captain.
Uh-huh.
The dog?
Yeah,
No.
he was the captain of the Terranova family.
If
Yeah.
the dog ran away and just disappeared, you're just like, you got to think it was
He used
Gemini.
to go for walks in Staten Island, my sister's house, for like miles and come back. I don't know. He was so smart.
That's
Yeah.
great.
I used to go, "Where's Nino?" She goes, "He'll be back." He goes for a walk. I'm like, "What are you letting him walk around?" She's
Yeah.
like, "Everybody knows him. Everybody like Nino, go home."
So Gaji recognizes Demeo as an earner, but he sort of had his own motives because he wanted to elevate his status in the Gambino family. Now, that same year, Demeo met Harvey Rosenberg. He was Harvey Chris Rosenberg. Chris was his nickname?
Yeah,
Yeah. So Chris Rosenberg was the first guy in Demeo's crew,
yeah.
right? 16-year-old short little Jewish kid. He wanted to be Italian. I mean, who doesn't?
But back then, if you were a Jewish kid growing up in a predominantly Italian neighborhood, you acted Italian. That's why people,
Really?
you see Dice Clay, how Italian he is.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how it is. That's how it was, man.
Really?
If you met a Jewish guy my age who grew up in Brooklyn, you would think he's Italian.
Yeah.
And they loved it when you mistook
thought
them.
they were Italian?
If you mistook a Jewish kid for Italian, you might as well have told him he's Rockefeller. Like they got so flattered.
Yeah.
Oh.
People make fun of us, but everybody secretly does want to be one of us.
So if I'm a Jewish kid, how do I pretend like I'm Italian back then?
It's too late.
you do the dice. Yeah.
It's too late.
Yeah,
You're from
yeah.
Minnesota.
It is
No, I'm
too
saying
late.
like back then, like what did I just take the yarmulke off?
Well, your accent.
Matt, try to pass as Italian for the
you
next
blow
5
dry
minutes of the show.
You have to blow dry your hair.
Who's calling you?
Got to get a chain.
Yeah. You got to get a nice
Chain. Get it like a.
You got to spend $1,000 on a chain.
Then you got to.
Seems like a specific number.
Wait, how
Get
much
some
did you
Tom
spend?
Ford.
How much did you spend on a chain though?
If I was gonna buy a chain,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll probably
$2,000.
I'll talk the guy down. I'll probably talk him down to 11, honey.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
But
walk out the door.
You can like resell those too, right?
Yeah, it's like jewelry's good because it's like wearing your money.
Okay.
You know,
I like jewelry.
you wear it and people go, "Oh, that guy has money because he's wearing gold."
I used to have a nice.
So yeah, it's like it sends a message to all the.
I used to have a
to
Cuban
your
link.
enemies.
I used to have a Cuban link bracelet and a Movado watch.
I got a Movado watch.
My Movado's the shit.
You told me to get a herringbone for my special.
That would have been
You
great.
Get to wear a herringbone. Yeah. So he meets Harvey Rosenberg or Chris Rosenberg. Chris Rosenberg is he's a drug dealer. He sells marijuana, but Demeo starts lending him money to buy bigger amounts of marijuana that he can resell on the street. Then he makes some money off the vig, and they had a really good relationship. Rosenberg would even call himself. He would say, "I'm Chris Demeo,"
Yeah, he got in a
which
lot of
is
trouble.
weird. Maybe
when-
they had like a sexual thing going
He
on.
used to there was like a father son thing, but he used to throw Roy's name too much. A lot of guys do that. You know
But
what
how
happens?
old was Roy when he met Rosenberg?
Well, I would say 35, maybe older.
Oh, okay.
Roy was older than everybody. He was like the father figure of the whole crew.
Okay.
But it's like a lot of guys were like that. I knew guys that they would like I had my guy that I would go to, and he had a guy, but I never threw his name. But then my friend threw my guy's name.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to this bar in Canarsie, and he got smacked around by my friend, and I had to just stand there and watch it. And he's like, "You didn't fucking say anything." I go, "What are you fucking throwing his name for?
Right.
You don't do that. I never
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
I never do that." Some people will be like, "Why don't you go to this guy?" I'm like, "I will when I have a real fucking problem. You fucking guys are throwing names just to get like coke on the fucking arm." That's what that's what it was about. My friend was trying to get coke on the arm, and he threw my friend's name.
Are you
And
on
then he got
coke right
smacked
now?
around. Huh?
Are you on cocaine right now?
No, I never did. I never got
Yeah.
into cocaine.
Just like mind your business.
Yeah.
Have you,
Don't
ever
be.
done, have you ever done cocaine?
No.
That is a losery drug.
Most I've
Is
ever
it?
done is
Oh.
mushrooms.
Yeah.
You know what I don't like about cocaine? My mother died from it.
Oh, okay.
You know,
sorry.
but it just changes your whole character. It turns you
Really?
into a lying piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
You'll sell your mother
Mhm.
down the river for cocaine. It's
What? Just to get more?
just to
Did you
get
get
more. You always
Get addicted to it?
you just become a. I don't like liars.
Yeah. No, me neither. So Demeo and Gadget get along with a porn producer named Rothenberg. What was the guy's first name?
Chris?
No, Rosenberg. Chris Rosenberg was the guy in his crew. Anyway, this guy Rothenberg, he's processing X-rated films which violated New York's obscenity law. So they were like, "Oh, we can get a piece on it." Did you watch the documentary?
Yeah.
So they're like, "We can get a piece of this action." So initially, Rothenberg doesn't want anything to do with them, but then Demeo smacks him in the face. He pulls out a gun. He's like, "All right, let's get in business together." Then Rothenberg's office gets raided by the cops. They think he's going to talk, and they kill Rothenberg. And that was his first murder. That was Demeo's first murder.
Oh,
Before that, he was just a loan shark. But once he kills Rothenberg, he gets arrested for it. He goes to trial. He gets acquitted. And then he goes, "Oh, it's easy to get away with murder." that was his takeaway.
that's the one
and then he
recurring
just started
theme.
killing
It's
people.
like these guys seem to just get away with murder all the time.
Yeah. Why? I mean, because the judges are paid, or maybe they don't have enough evidence, or
I think back then it was just like organized crime murders weren't taken as seriously as like innocent people murders. You know,
right?
Organized crime murders are like, let them sort it out themselves.
Yeah.
It's not like somebody just
got more
graduated
important
from
things to-
Harvard and that got murdered or something. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
what was it? Where was this guy going?
Right. His fucking dog. Is that picking up?
Is the dog on the show or what?
You tell me.
He's our guest. What?
You can hear it, right?
Yeah.
Is it picking up?
Maybe I should put him in the other room.
What's with
Yeah, so they
Italians
kill.
that love handguns? It's like it seems like everything has to do with like brandishing a handgun and like threatening somebody by putting a gun in your mouth.
What happened? You said what's with Italians and handguns
Yeah. Because like
as opposed to what? Like a shotgun or like a
yeah,
firework?
I get it. You know, it's just like it's the same amount of threat, and you can kill somebody. It's just I don't know. It triggered me when you said he like slapped him around with the gun to like force his way, and then like I just saw the Sopranos episode 2 where he like sticks the gun in the two dudes' mouths.
Which one?
Well, okay, so I think it's Big Pussy and somebody else.
Oh yeah, when they steal the car.
Yeah, they steal
He's
a
like,
car.
Here's Johnny Cochran right here.
Yeah,
they think they're cops.
Yeah, he's like, I'll call the cops. He's like, and then he has the gun in his mouth. He's like, would you like to make a statement? I was like,
I want to be a criminal. You think I would? We would do okay, right?
I don't. Not in this era.
Yeah,
And it's not good to be a criminal in this era.
yeah,
I don't know. Bitcoin, it's completely untraceable. We could,
yeah. Bitcoin. So then later he meets Joe Testa and Anthony Senzer. Anthony Center. They became the other members of his crew.
You know, it's funny. Like, if you were related to Joey Testa or Anthony Santa, even years after they went to the jail, you had so much respect in Canarsie. There was this kid, and Anthony Santa was his cousin. And when he used to walk down my street, everybody would be like, "That's Anthony Santa's cousin."
I love that.
That's all you had to do is be related to him.
I love that shit. Like, I just went to Ellis Island, and I kind of found out where I was from because, like, I was asking my folks. You know, they were just visiting. And I didn't know. You guys asked me, and I was like, I didn't know. And it turns out I was like Scandinavian and English, nothing else. No,
yeah?
No Italian, no
I figured
German.
it was something boring like that.
Yeah, fuck you, Frank.
What's Shelby, Jewish?
No, she's
You don't even know what your girlfriend is?
Louisiana, so that means
He has no idea what his girlfriend is. How do you not know your girlfriend's nationality? That should have been the first question.
I feel like it's German. It's like overall whiteness.
Yeah. I don't know. I never dated a full Italian girl, like a 100%.
Right.
Like just a real hardcore Italian girl. Never did.
That sounds like it would be nice. It'd be good at.
It might be. I think I would be understood more probably.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of girls don't understand me.
So the Rothenberg murder impressed the higher ups, and Demeo desperately wanted to be made, and so that was his goal. That's the thing he set out to do. He told Nino Gadget that he wanted to be a made guy.
Yep. It took him a while.
It took him a long time.
Yeah. It's really unbelievable, like how much work he did, and they still didn't want to make him. Paul Castellano did not want to make him. He just saw him as an animal.
Well, that's what's interesting. So in 1975, Carlo Gambino suffers a heart attack, right? And then his successor is Paul Castellano. Now, do you think Castellano was like an interesting choice for Gambino? Was that an unexpected choice? Because
I think it was a senile choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's like he couldn't give it to his son Tommy because his son Tommy wasn't really a tough guy.
Right.
And
they never are, the kids of these guys.
Sometimes they are.
Yeah.
John Jr. was a tough guy.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
He used to beat the
Usually
fuck out
when
of
there's
people.
a tough guy,
I've seen him.
the kid is always...
I've heard stories.
Yeah.
I mean, he threw beans.
But like when you look at self-made tough guys like Joe Colombo or like Sonny Franzese, their kids are always,
Yeah.
not as tough.
Sometimes.
It's tough to be a kid when any great man, that being the kid of that person is like the worst.
I mean, they weren't going to make John Gotti a boss because he was
he a captain at that point?
He might have been, but he was just looked at as a street guy, and plus he wasn't Sicilian.
So there was really nobody else.
Yeah.
Like Castellano, like what was his operation? Like what did he?
He just had his hand out.
Yeah. What were his talents?
Playing the stock market.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he was more about like
fucking his maid
crest.
with an implant. He had a dildo. He had a fucking cock implant.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
he used to fuck his maid.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what's funny though is like he really did sort of have he did have like a contempt for a lot of the street guys, right?
Yeah.
And I heard this on something else I listened to.
And he was cheap.
Yeah.
He didn't divide the wealth.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, he just kept it for himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of a ballsy move when you're around all these like.
Did you ever see the
killers.
Gotti movie with Amanda Sante as Gotti?
No, but what I heard was that like Paul Castellano would like it used to be 15% tax for street guys, and then he upped it to like 40% tax.
Yeah.
So he was squeezing them pretty hard.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. But the other thing about Castellano was that like he kind of looked down on guys like Demeo who like like real guys who would go out and cut somebody's head off.
Yeah,
you know?
use
like
their
tough
hands
guys.
when they work.
There was
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah,
hypocrisy.
worked with their hands.
There was
But
a
then
lot-
when he needed bodies to disappear, there was nobody better than Demeo.
There was a lot of hypocrisy because he was going to kill Gotti because one of Gotti's associates got caught with heroin.
Uh-huh.
But meanwhile, Roy DeMeo was like lining his pockets with cocaine money.
Right.
So that was hypocritical.
Right. That's the other thing I heard. It was kind of like an unspoken thing. Like Castellano was like, stay away from drugs, but he didn't turn an eye
Yeah.
when the profits started coming.
I mean, where do you think the money was coming from? Booze?
yeah, yeah.
Horse races.
Bootlegging. Like it's the 30s.
Cocaine brought the mafia down.
That's what I was just gonna say. Yeah, because like those sentences were so long that
Yeah.
people would like, become rats.
Cocaine is the devil, man. It brought down the mob. It brings down families.
What about gambling? Like the
Gambling's-
sports betting and
Gambling's bad, but not. There's nothing like cocaine. It's the worst.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Like I know people that still do it. Like I'll talk to kids and be like, "Yeah, I do it once," and I'm like, "Why?"
Yeah,
It's the worst. Ugh.
yeah. It just destroys
A
lives.
lot of people are casual about drugs these days. A lot of the kids are doing like acid. I would never do that.
Yeah.
Like they go. Yeah, we're doing acid this weekend. We're going to the mountains. I'm like, what are you gonna stand in the mountain on acid? That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
I'd rather be at an open mic.
Yeah, me too. Working on my craft, baby.
Fucking acid. All these kids doing acid they ain't going nowhere in comedy. If you're dropping acid, you're not dropping a special. I'll tell you that.
Sure. So Nino Gaggi becomes a captain, and DeMeo asked Gaggi to put in a good word for him to be made to Castellano, but Castellano did not want to make DeMeo. So DeMeo said, he's like, well, I need to like earn some more money. So what he does is he teams up with Irish gangster James Coonan.
From the Westies.
Yeah, and Coonan wants to kill Mickey Spillane, the former like semi-retired boss of the Westies. So DeMeo kills Mickey Spillane.
Mickey Featherstone?
What?
Was it Featherstone?
Mickey Spillane.
Spillane.
Yeah.
Was it his nickname? Because there's a famous guy named Mickey Spillane.
Mickey. Yeah,
Mickey Spillane's an author. Maybe that was
he's
his
not.
nickname.
I think it was Mickey Spillane,
Wow.
novelist. Yeah.
That can't be him.
I thought it was Mickey Spillane.
It must be Mickey Featherstone. I don't know. I might be wrong. I don't know much about those Irish bastards.
Yeah. And let's keep it that way. But what are we going to talk about in the second part?
There's so much we didn't get to
brains.
yet.
Mickey
Like what?
Featherstone.
Is this gonna be a
The,
two-parter?
what
I
it
think this
is
is gonna be a
now?
two-parter.
The Gemini Club. Do you guys know what it is
It's
now?
a black church.
It's a black church.
Oh,
You know
yeah?
what I heard when
Yeah.
when there's
I have the article
there's an
if you want it.
apartment in the back where they used to chop up the bodies, and I heard when the first person who rented it after Roy went to jail, I mean when Roy got killed and everybody went to jail, they turned the faucet on and blood came out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a story of folklore. It might be.
Yeah, Donald Williams passed.
Do you think it's cool they killed that many people?
Is it cool?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's cool. I don't know. You know what? That's the number that the feds are giving us.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Right. It's probably more.
Donald Williams, pastor of the mob killing turned Pentecostal church at Flatlands and Troy Avenue, says he didn't know the site's gruesome history before paying $220,000 for it in 1997.
Wow.
He got a good deal.
We got to go there.
Yeah,
Here it is.
let's go to church there.
We should.
Yeah. It says in this article they changed that room where they murdered everybody, the basement. They changed it into a computer room.
It must stink down there.
This is like a Sunday school down there or something.
It's like kids playing Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
It's interesting because the place where I'm going to do an open mic at 8:30 used to be a black church.
Really?
Yeah.
The platform. I want to talk about the Gemini method. To me, that seems like the Chipotle of dismembering people.
The Chipotle method.
Because there's fucking 5 of them, or they're like working in like as like an assembly line, you know. So it's like the guy comes, gets his order taken, and then he gets shot in the back of the head, and then stabbed, and then each one of them does a job. I don't know.
They tried to.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that.
There's a scene in Donnie Brasco where they emulated it.
Nice.
No, it was Mickey Spillane, Frank.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was probably his.
So he was like the semi-retired leader of the Westies. Anyway, so DeMeo kills Spillane, and then they had an alliance with the Westies. So now the Gambino family was seeing some action, some money from the west side of Manhattan. Was that kind of like the beginning of the downfall of the Gambino family?
No.
I thought I heard somebody say that.
They just like. I remember God used to say, "Yeah, we use those Irish guys from the west side for certain things," but.
Oh yeah. He said that to you?
No, that's what he said. He was recorded. You know, Gotti. There's a lot of Gotti
Yeah.
tapes.
Oh, okay. You met him?
I not personally, but I used to see him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
He was a nice guy.
Yeah.
I used to ride my big wheel past his house.
I think it'd be fun to
yeah.
go to that church and reminisce about what used to be there. Like, oh man, this used to be a club.
Everything's gone. They used to Cafe Biondo used to be the Ravenite.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is an article about 9 places that's the second one.
There used to be a Wendy's on Flatbush Avenue.
I
It's
hated
gone.
going. Let me tell you something. There's nothing more uncomfortable than going to a wise guy hangout because everybody
Why?
in there is so angsty.
Yeah.
Everybody's so fucking. I mean, I saw a kid
It's
that
like
I
a
know.
comedy hangout.
Yeah, yeah, it's worse than that.
Yeah.
It's like going to the Pine Box. No,
Uh-huh.
it's like you go to a gangster hangout and you see somebody you know since you're 2, and they act different. Like I'm like, hey, what's up? And I shook this guy's hand, and I guess I ordered tequila sunrise, so I had it on my hand when I shook his hand, and he went like this. He was like, "What's with this sticky stuff?" He was gonna make a fucking thing out of it. I said, hey, I had a tequila sunrise.
Uh-huh.
He was gonna have a fight with me over that.
Wow.
I said, let's get the hell out. I just said to my friends, why are we here?
Yeah.
Because we used to go there before we would go to the city.
Yeah.
So like we would go like to this place called the Bay Breeze, was like a
What was it, like a middle school dance? Like nobody's talking to each other and
yeah, everybody's like sitting in their cliques and they're acting like they're in the Godfather. Because
Yeah.
it got to a point where like gangsters in real life were imitating the ones from the movies. It got especially after
Really?
Goodfellas. When Goodfellas came out,
Yeah.
there was no. I couldn't be around anybody.
Uh-huh.
That movie, everybody started kissing each other. I'm like, since when are we kissing each other?
Really?
Well, no, they didn't start kissing each other until after Goodfellas.
Really?
Yeah, that's when they really started doing. I mean, real tough guys always did it, like real made guys
Yeah.
at funerals and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But all of a sudden, Goodfellas came out, everybody's kissing hello. I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous.
What are some of the other differences?
They just started everybody just thought they were Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking stupid. That's why
Right.
they're all dead now.
Right. you gotta be less of a Joe Pesci, more of
Yeah,
a Carlo Gambino.
nobody
Yeah, but
likes.
let's not get it twisted up though. A sticky handshake is not appropriate.
It's not appropriate. It was an accident. I don't
No,
care.
I know. I'm just teasing.
I relax. I walk into a social club. I start drinking tequila sunrises. I get sloppy. I'm not worried. I'm not trying to make it in the
Right,
mob. I'm not trying
right.
I'm not trying to kiss up to these fucking
Yeah.
guys. I know them. We went to fucking Our Lady of Miracles together. I didn't know
Yeah.
a sticky handshake was going to cause a fucking ruckus.
Yeah, the sticky. You're like, no, dude. I'm not asking you to open up the books right now. You fucking piece of shit.
You know
Just
what I
saying
used to
hello.
do? I used to go in there. I used to order tequila sunrise, give a $5 tip. Then I used to order another tequila sunrise. I give the lady a $5 tip, and it was always like the hottest, like worn out bitch. It would always be like a woman like 36, smokes Marlboro Lights, but her tits are out. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Then she's be like, "This guy's got a free drink coming." I'm like, "That's right, baby."
Yeah. When you go to the casino, always tip. Even though it's free, tip them $5, and they'll come back to you first.
They used to have Las Vegas night at the Jew Hall. It was
the
great.
what hall?
The Jew Hall,
What's that?
like the synagogue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we used to go there. And,
I didn't know if that was like the proper name of a place
Well,
or
that's
not.
what we called it.
Okay.
You know, it's funny. A lot of people don't realize it. I'm like the least, out of my old friends, I'm like the least offensive. I had a friend, John Collins. He passed away a couple of years ago. He was like, this lady was asking him for a boost. You know, when you give somebody a boost when your car stalls.
Yeah.
And we're smoking a joint. We're hanging out. And like the lady's waiting for like 20 minutes. He's like, I'm like, John, this lady's over there. He's like, all right, let me go give this cunt a boost.
Jesus Christ. Oh.
I wish we could still talk like that. We lost this country, huh, guys?
Yeah. We sure did, huh?
Let's wrap it up soon so I can go to this
Okay,
thing.
okay. I'm trying to find the year of with the Cuban thing.
The Cuban Missile Crisis?
Yes, the Cuban Missile Crisis. Let's take a nice turn and
Wasn't that in the 80s?
What's
Yeah.
the Cuban thing?
the thing with the
What kind of sandwiches did you sell at this?
I didn't
at
sell
these-
sandwiches. I sold cookies.
Oh, I
Cookies.
thought you said sandwiches and cookies.
No, he said
no, I
sandwiches.
said sandwiches.
Oh, I'm getting my wires
What,
crossed.
do all Italians look alike to you?
Yeah. No, I sold sandwiches.
Oh, you said
you hear me?
sandwiches.
That was my racket. I sold the fucking sandwiches.
Right, Frank. Like one of the people at the play didn't like that there wasn't mayo on it.
You know, somebody
Yeah,
tagged
that was
me.
mine.
Scorsese.
Dude, I love the idea that you wrote a fucking play just to sell
9 plays.
You wrote
9
plays to sell Entenmann's cookies.
Can I tell you
because they were homemade.
if you Google Frank Terranova playwright,
Yeah.
you're gonna read about me.
Really?
Yeah, I'm very accomplished.
Wait, let me see.
I want to see.
Frank Terranova playwright charged of raping 2 women and
I think. If you wrote 9 plays, have you considered trying to take those and turn them into short films?
I wrote 4 screenplays.
Yeah, but
I made 2
make
short.
them.
I want to make my movie about the reunion. I told you about it, the high school reunion film.
Right.
Yeah, that's the movie I'm gonna make it.
Yeah.
What's it about?
It's like it's like a one night film.
It's a one night film.
Oh, okay.
Guy goes to his high school reunion, sees a Puerto Rican girl he used to go to school with, and she's still hot. And he's like, "You want to get out of here?" And she has like a Mini Cooper outside that she's renting for the night.
Mm-hmm.
So they drive around Brooklyn. They go to Coney Island. They go to Bay Ridge. They stop in to visit his grandmother. They go to the Floridian Diner.
Mm-hmm.
They go to Williamsburg just to make fun of hipsters. And then they fall in love. And he's like, "Well, why don't you stay?" And she's like, "I live in Florida." He's like, "No, you got to fucking stay because we got this movie we're making here.
Yeah.
You know, you're supposed to fall in love with the main guy."
I want you to do this the 2-word blurb too to describe the movie. Like he sees a girl from his high school, still hot.
Still hot.
And they get to talking all night. That's great.
I wrote the part for this actress, but she's a little too old to play it now. But you know who's just right for the part? Jennifer Lopez.
Oh.
Because the character's Puerto Rican and like in her late 40s.
Uh-huh.
She could use a resurgence in her
And this
career.
is like an indie film.
You could go get her at this point in her career.
But the problem is I want to play the main guy, so she's got to be okay with me directing the movie and playing the main guy.
And putting one or two fingers inside of her.
There's a lovemaking scene.
Is that what you call it?
It's a montage.
Excuse me, Jennifer Lopez, you want to be in my play? There is a lovemaking scene.
Picturing a lot of cross dissolves.
Yeah, there's
star wipes.
You know what I don't like about lovemaking scenes today?
What?
If the woman's on top and she's simulating that she's riding the guy, she's fully clothed, like she's wearing a bra. Who rides dick with a bra?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Fucking ridiculous. All right, so here's the beginning of the end for the Demeo crew.
What is it?
Things take a turn for the worst when Chris Rothenberg sets up a deal with some Cubans. He wants to buy, I think, 10 kilos of cocaine, and so he sets up a meeting. There was a Cuban drug lord named El Negro, and probably you would have gotten along with him, you know, and El Negro sends his girlfriend and his cousin as couriers to bring the cocaine. They fly to New York. They meet him at that garbage dump. I forget the name of it.
Fountain Avenue
Garbage Dump, which is still open, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So they meet him at Fountain Avenue, and Rosenberg, for some reason, kills the couriers. He kills out El Negro's girlfriend and his cousin. And things got very bad for the Demeo crew after that because the Gambino family did not want a war with the Cubans.
And that put Roy in a tough spot because he loved Chris as a son, but he had
to kill him.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen, folks? We'll see. The thing with the Cubans was, Italians, they have a code, right? They're like, they won't touch your family.
Oh, Jesus.
What?
You farted.
Oh, you heard that?
No,
Everybody heard that.
I'm wearing headphones.
I heard it. The guys playing dice outside heard it. Did you see them playing dice?
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah.
All right, is that it? I got to go. Let's come back next week. All
right, so they don't want to war with the Cubans because the Cubans will kill your whole family. Italians have a code. We don't kill families.
Right.
Yeah. So so we'll see you next week, folks. We'll see what happens. What happens with the Demeo crew? Find out on the next episode of The Sitdown.